Every morning, before your phone screams beside your bed, something very ordinary happens. You wake up because a machine tells you to. A tiny sound pulls you out of another world. Your dreams collapse. Your body returns to the room. The day begins not because you are ready, but because a device has decided the exact second your sleep should end. And somehow, this feels normal. But for most of human history, nobody had that sound. No phone alarm, no digital clock, no snooze button. No glowing screen waiting beside the pillow. So how did people wake up? How did farmers rise before sunrise? How did monks pray in the middle of the night? How did factory workers arrive on time before alarm clocks were cheap enough to sit in every bedroom? At first, it sounds like a simple historical question, but the deeper question is stranger. How did humans know when to wake up before time became something machines controlled? For most of our existence, waking was not a private event. It belonged to the world outside the body. Light entered the sky, birds began calling, roosters crowed, fires died down, the air changed temperature, other people started moving. The village, the farm, the camp, or the street slowly came alive. Before alarm clocks, the morning did not arrive as a sound from a device. It arrived as a transformation of the world. The human body was built to listen to that transformation. Deep inside you is a biological rhythm that responds to light and darkness. When the sun rises, your brain begins receiving signals that the night is ending. Hormones shift. Body temperature changes. Alertness slowly returns. In a world without electric light, this rhythm was harder to ignore. Night was darker, mornings were brighter, days had edges. Today, we can confuse the body with glowing screens at midnight and dark bedrooms at noon. But for ancient humans, the sky itself was the schedule. Still, nature was not always enough, because human life became more complicated. People did not only need to wake when the sun rose, they needed to wake for prayer, work, travel, trade, war, and survival. They needed to coordinate with others. And once humans began living in larger societies, time became social. Church bells rang. Town criers called out. Religious communities marked hours of prayer. In some places, public sounds told people when the day had reached a certain point. The clock, before it became a personal object, was often a public voice. You did not check the time, you heard it. But something even stranger happened when industrial life arrived. Factories needed workers at exact hours. Trains ran on schedules. Cities became louder, faster, and less forgiving. Being late was no longer just inconvenient. It could cost you wages, it could cost you your job, and yet many workers still could not afford reliable alarm clocks. So humans became alarm clocks for other humans. In parts of Britain and Ireland, there were people known as knocker-uppers. Their job was to walk through streets early in the morning and wake paying customers by tapping on doors or windows. Some used sticks. Some used long poles to reach upstairs windows. Some even used pea shooters to tap dried peas against glass. Imagine that for a moment. A person walking through the cold, dark streets before dawn, waking other people so they could go to work. Before the alarm lived inside a machine, it lived inside a job. That small detail reveals something important. Waking up was never only biological. It was economic. It was social. It was tied to duty, survival, and the demands of the age. The farmer woke because the animals needed feeding. The monk woke because prayer divided the night. The worker woke because the factory whistle would not wait. The parent woke because a child cried. The soldier woke because someone had to keep watch. Long before alarm clocks, humans were awakened by responsibility. And maybe that is still true. Because even now, when we think the alarm wakes us, it is often something deeper behind it. A job, a class, a deadline, a flight, a person waiting, a life that expects us to appear. The sound is only the messenger. The obligation is the real alarm. But humans also created tools to measure time before modern clocks. Water clocks allowed dripping water to mark passing hours. Candle clocks used burning wax to measure the night. In some designs, markings showed time passing. In others, falling objects could create sound when the candle burned low enough. These devices were not like the alarms we know today. They were fragile, imperfect, and dependent on fire, water, weather, and attention. But they show something beautiful. Humans have always tried to catch time. We watched shadows move, we counted stars. We listened for bells, we measured candles, we trained roosters, we hired strangers to knock on windows. All because waking up at the right moment mattered. And this is where the story becomes bigger than alarm clocks. Because an alarm clock does more than wake the body, it changes our relationship with time. Before personal alarms, time was something shared. The sun belonged to everyone. Bells rang across towns. A rooster woke whoever could hear it. A knocker-upper moved through a neighborhood. Morning was communal, but the modern alarm is private. It wakes only you. It sits beside your bed like a tiny authority, turning time into an individual responsibility. Your failure to wake is no longer blamed on the clouds, the rooster, the bell, or the person who forgot to knock. It belongs to you. That may be why waking up today can feel so strangely personal. When we hit snooze, we are not only delaying the morning, we are resisting the entire system waiting outside the room. Work, school, messages, expectations. The modern alarm does not simply say, wake up. It says, return to your role. For ancient humans, morning may have felt less like a command and more like an environment. The day slowly gathered around them. Light grew, sounds rose, people stirred. Today, morning often arrives as an interruption, a sudden noise in darkness, a demand before consciousness has fully returned. Maybe this is why so many people hate their alarms, not because the sound itself is terrible, but because it represents the gap between the body's rhythm and the world's schedule. Your body may want a sunrise, your life demands a ringtone, and yet, beneath all our machines, the old system is still there. Leave your curtains open, and sunlight still reaches for you. Sleep consistently, and your body may begin waking before the alarm. Spend time outdoors, and your inner clock slowly remembers the sky. The ancient human has not disappeared, it is just buried under electricity. Before alarm clocks, humans woke through a web of signals. Light, animals, bells, fire, water, community, duty, hunger, fear, faith, and habit. But perhaps the deepest answer is this. Humans woke because life called them back. The body listened to the sun. The mind listened to responsibility. The community listened to shared sounds. And somewhere between nature and necessity, the sleeping person returned. Tonight, you may set an alarm without thinking. A time. A sound. A small promise to your future self. But for thousands of years before that, humans trusted the world to wake them. The rooster. The bell. The dawn. The person tapping at the window. All reminders that waking up was never just about opening your eyes. It was about re-entering the human story. Every morning, across every age, the same strange thing has happened. A person disappears into sleep. The world waits. And somehow, by sunlight, sound, duty, or design, they come back.